We're inside of a week where we get a chance to watch this team play, Joe Burrow and this crew play for the final time. And really, the closer this game gets, the more I think back on what we've had a chance to watch. And I'm not just ready just yet to get all sentimental and start thinking about the memories of the season. We can do that on Tuesday morning and throughout next week. But, I mean, you're closing in on really a special season coming down to the close here of one final game for a national championship in New Orleans. I mean, for just a second here, I mean, exhale, take a deep breath, I mean, on what we've had a chance to see.
If I had to offer some, I don't want to call it advice, but just how I'm trying to approach this situation, like you said, I'm not trying to live in the past. I'm not trying to look back on the season that was. I'm not trying to look forward to the season will be. I am trying to, I think I didn't mute my cough, and then I muted my excuse me. So, wow.
Timing was off there. Timing was off.
Bad execution. But I'm trying to live fully in the present right now, and I'm trying to force myself to enjoy these last few days because these are the good times. Like, these are the precious times. And as you probably know as an LSU fan, these kind of moments, these kind of weeks, like the fun that comes from the anxiety of looking forward to a national championship against a great team all week long, these opportunities are few and far between. So not only is the opportunity rare, but the other reason why I would really want to say, like, force yourself to be present if you love sports to lock in right now is because this is the fun year. And me and Brody have talked about this on the Hold That podcast, which you should all listen to and subscribe to. But this is the fun year. Like, this is the year where you have exceeded expectations. This is the year where your wildest dreams have come true beyond your wildest dreams. And, like, I don't know when you will have another sporting experience like the ones you've had when it comes to Burrow setting records, winning the Heisman, the number one offense in the country, looking unstoppable, beating a record 6 top 10 teams, winning on the road in Alabama. I mean, everything. Enjoy this moment because it's not just the game itself that makes these huge games fun. It's the run-up to the game, and it's watching the coverage and listening to it and hearing about the teams that you love so much. I mean, think about it. On Monday, you're going to have a chance to watch Joe Burrow set even more NCAA records. Right now, Jeff Nowak has a good article in The Advocate where he points out, I didn't realize this, because of that crazy performance against OU, Burrow's now thrown 55 touchdowns on the year. He only needs 3 to tie Colt Brennan. If he throws 4, he'll have the record. If he throws 4, he'll also have the record for total touchdowns, as that would give him 63 that he'd be responsible for on the year. If he completes 70% of his passes, he'll set the NCAA record for completion percentage in a season. So it is truly, it's like Kirk Herbstreit said, in 30 years of doing this, he's never seen anything like it. It is truly singular. And so enjoy these last few days. Force yourself to be present. Go to New Orleans. Go see your friends, your neighbors. Talk about it. Drink beers. Let's celebrate over these next few days as we get ready for the final battle.
Sid Bowden inside the huddle, powered by the Bayou Ford Group. I told my daughter that 30 years from now, she will not remember anything about the biology lab she will miss, but she'll remember everything about celebrating a natty in New Orleans.
Very true.
Great perspective. All right, here's Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, and the crew going through a conference call yesterday, talking a little bit about this LSU-Clemson matchup. Here was Fowler talking about LSU being the newest here in the Final Four.
Well, I think it's fresh blood. The playoff has frankly needed different teams. Clemson's been the kingpin, and in a short time they've gone from the underdog team that's trying to chase down Bama to being sitting at the top. Now LSU comes in as, although the underdog or favorite in this game, they're still the challenger for the title. But I think that LSU has obviously a rich history. I was there all 3 times they played for the championship in the Superdome before. I think that you need to have fresh blood in the playoff, different contending teams. And this year, for the first time, that's LSU.
I mean, that's something else I think we talked about a bit yesterday that I didn't mention even just now is also the matchup just looks incredible on paper. I mean, it's the best national championship of recent memory, surely. I would like to pick somebody's brain like Hannah Griff or, the kind of sports historians type, because I really do wonder, where does this battle of heavyweights fall in line of great teams? Because you are talking about 2 undefeated conference champions, one in Clemson who's just dominated everybody they played, one in LSU who's maybe been in more battles, but has beaten more top 10 teams than any other team ever. Like we said yesterday, you had 5 first or second round NFL wide receivers. You got 2 of the top 5 backs. You got the 2 number 1 picks at quarterback going toe to toe. The amount of talent on the field Monday is it's unreal. It's unreal.
Anonymous user inside the huddle, powered by the Bayou Ford Group. Skip class when it rained. You think I'm going to class on Monday of the Natty? Come on, man.
No, yeah, look, that was me too, but I don't want to encourage that. We're just saying it's okay to skip for the Natty.
Kirk Herbstreit was talking about Brent Venables and what the longest tenured defensive coordinator that LSU will face this year, and how the plan he'll come up with on Monday night to try to stop Burrow and the boys.
I can't wait to see LSU's offense trot out there for the first time, because if I were Brent Venables this year, he's incorporated that 3-down line look where he keeps 2 linebackers, Chad Smith and Skalski in, and then he brings Nolan Turner in. And if you include Isaiah Simmons as a defensive back, it's almost like having 6 defensive backs in the game. And I think, going back to your point, what we had talked earlier about Kevin Steele at Auburn, they played with 7 defensive backs. And I think anything you can do to get more speed on the field, to get more guys to be able to defend this passing game, a lot of the quick slants, a lot of the shots downfield. You kind of need all hands on deck as far as your back end, and that happens to be Clemson's strength. And they've been very clear about that all year.
And so some of the similarities between Venables and what Aranda want to do has been very interesting to me, where Venables to this year, I think, in light of not having the overwhelming defensive line, we'll talk probably more defensive line tomorrow. Wow, what's going on? Not having the overwhelming defensive line, they too are incorporating a lot of 3 safety looks. And like Stevens and Delpit allow Aranda to play a lot of crazy football, Harris allows Clemson to play a lot of crazy football. Something that you mentioned, Jordy, is I don't know what's going on, is Venables being the most tenured coach that LSU faces here. And that's maybe important to point out. Brooks Ubina wrote an article about this. I didn't realize just how many kind of new faces LSU squared up with this year. You had 5 different coaches, 5 different defensive coordinators in their first year of their program, 7 within their first or second year of their program. And in fact, Kevin Steele was actually the longest tenured DC that you faced. He obviously had the most success, and that's at 4 years. Brent Venables has been at Clemson for 8 years.
Wow.
And so if you're wondering how they're able to shift their scheme so much week to week, and yet everybody still knows their responsibility, it's because these players have never known anything different. Whether you're a freshman or a senior, all you have ever known is Brent Venables, and that shows. The question is, will it show up on Monday?